What is up, Broncos country? My name's Adam. This is Keep Your Eye on the Ball. Today we're talking NFL draft and safeties. But before we get into all that ooey gooey goodness that is the NFL draft, I need to talk to you about this. So what do you get when you subscribe to Keep Your Eye on the Ball? Well, what you get is honest analysis, and you get the opinions, thoughts, and comments of two guys who love Denver Broncos football and are going to tell you what you need to know and not what you want to hear. So please give us a follow, give us a like, give us a comment, maybe even some presents. And now let's get back to the video. So normally I love covering the draft, going through all the position groups, but it's just way too time consuming. So I decided to condense that for this season and talk about position groups that the Denver Broncos could be interested in come the draft. So for this week, we're going to talk safeties. Importantly, I don't want to give a rehash of the top 3 or 4 safeties that are in the group. We all know their names. We all know where they're going to be. And we also know that Denver isn't in a position to draft those guys right now. Instead, the Broncos have 2 4th-round picks and 2 5th-round picks. Or actually, I'm sorry, 1 5th-round pick. So they have a little bit of draft capital to go after some of these guys that may be available in those rounds. So I'm going to give you 4 names. These are the guys that I think could be there at when the Broncos have their turn to select, and the guys that I think that could fit into the Broncos system. So with that, here we go. So the first name that I'm going to bring you is Bud Clark from TCU. 6 foot, 180 pounds, translates more for me as a free safety versus a strong safety. I do like his ball skills. I do like that he can be kind of your deep cover center or center fielder when it comes to the pass. Not super impressed with his run support ability, but that isn't the end-all be-all of anything, depending on what you're looking for in your safety. The next guy that I think we should look at is A.J. Halsey. He's a 6 foot, 250 pound strong safety from LSU. One of the things that I loved about Halsey is that I think he translates more of a strong safety, downhill safety. If you're looking for a run support guy, Halsey would translate there. Big hitter, not the fastest guy in the world. Kind of struggles when it comes to man-to-man. So if you have a zone system, I think he could fit very well with that. Denver doesn't necessarily run exclusive zone, doesn't necessarily run exclusive man. So I don't know how he translates, but I love him as a run supporter. The next guy that we're going to look at is Zakee Wheatley. He's a 6'3", 208 pound safety from Penn State. If there's a guy here that I really, really like after doing some film work on him, it's Wheatley. Not the biggest tackler in the world, but he has very long arms. He has a very long tackle radius, and I think you can clean up some of the things that are maybe lacking when it comes to his pursuit. However, he is a bona fide playmaker, really good at reaching in for footballs to pull out for fumbles, shows some good ball awareness when it comes to the ball in the air, and I think he has a little bit of room to grow into his frame. And the last guy we're going to look at is Michael Taft. He's a 6 foot, 190 pound safety from Texas. Now, I decided to do some work on Taft because he was brought up in our podcast yesterday. I'm going to tell you right now, I think he kind of translates more to be a special teamer versus being a full-time starter. Not the biggest guy in the world. Seems like he gets fooled a little bit, especially with play action. And I'm not in love with the athleticism, but I do think he's a very smart and heady player. So why does it matter that the Broncos may draft somebody when they already have Tala Hufanga and Brandon Jones still on the team? Well, I will tell you this. If you look at the current state of the safeties, you do have Brandon Jones, who is a free agent at the end of this season. Tala Hufanga is a free agent at the end of next season. Behind them, you do have a little bit of maybe intriguing talent in J.L. Skinner and Devon Key, but we haven't seen what they can do in a starter's role yet, even though Devon Key did make a Pro Bowl as a special teamer last year. Throw in Tyson Anderson, who was just signed from Cincinnati, and you have a decent rotational group as far as safeties go with the Broncos. So we did see when Brandon Jones was not in the lineup that he did have a negative impact on his spot on the field. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that the Broncos look to maybe get a developmental prospect so that they can plug into that role if and when Brandon Jones leaves in free agency. So in my mind, that makes a guy like Wheatley a very intriguing prospect because he could be there with either one of your 4th round picks, and I think you can groom him into a starter's role starting next season. So that's going to be it for safeties. Let me know in the comments if there's any other position group that you were really wanting to know more about. As always, I will reply to that, and let's talk some pigskin down there. As always, keep your eye on the ball, and I'll talk to you next time.